I think being the things teenagers are dealing with now has changed so much just in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Because when I was a teenager, it was all the thoughts that were in my head were doing well in my exams and how am I going to get someone to buy me alcohol that
Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
now their teenagers are so much more political. They're dealing with literally the end of the world, the climate crisis. They're dealing with gender conversations and all these different things that I'm not saying it's a bad thing that they're having any of these conversations. It's great, but to add that all on to everything else they've got to deal with, it must overload them at times.
Yeah. Plus, you've got this thing in your hand constantly that's firing huge amounts of this information at you constantly. And I think so. My son is actually he's 14 tomorrow, and it's been interesting over this last couple of years watching the behaviors change to more of that scrolling, head down, absorbing, constant communication with people. Like it never stops ever. And yeah, dealing with all the sort of conversations that you've mentioned there, and all the different things that are going on in the world right now. I'm like you as a teenager. My concerns were fitting in. Are we going to win on Saturday at the rugby? And yeah, who's going to buy me my beers at the weekend that I can sneak down the beach and have without my parents knowing, even though I found out they knew all along. I think if I was a teenager now, honestly, I think I'd be knackered. I think I'd be absolutely knackered because it's so fucked up, mate. It's so strange. And that's why I think they're amazing, because the vast majority of them are cracking on. And the ones that are struggling, I hope they're asking for help. I hope they're reaching out. I hope they've got supportive parents. I hope they've got teachers that see them and have spotted and are there for them. Because it's a strange time to be a teenager. I think the world needs to be there for them, because I keep saying it, but they are our future, and they're our next doctors, our next teachers, our next prime ministers, our next everything.